Hi, my name is Peter Gazinski. I work for a company called MaxScheduler. We're continuing our web series for manufacturers and printers about the software challenges they face in their businesses. We want to share our experiences. MaxScheduler is a scheduling software business. For 15 years, we've helped companies schedule around 300 million tasks. Myself, I'm a scheduling expert and product manager. My LinkedIn profile is there. Today's chapter is about building your own enterprise system. Say you've gotten to the point where you have an accounting system, you're looking to you need more functionality out of your software. You go looking for enterprise software out there. You've heard of all the failures and the cost and the complexity. And, the numbers can be 20,000 to 50,000. You think, why don't I just take that money and build my own? And my overall suggestion, probably be a bad idea. This is me speaking as someone who's supported large-scale systems and helped build some of them. To make kind of a parallel, if you wanted to go buy a car, would you go buy it from a known manufacturer, or would you try to build one yourself? Most likely you wouldn't build your own, because you may end up with something depicted in that picture there. The same goes for building a software system. It can be even more complex. That car does look like fun, though. Let's get into some of the negatives about building your own system. It will be expensive and take much longer than you plan. It is well documented. It can take 6 months to 2 years just to implement an existing software system. So if you were to build one, you have to put that planning and building time on top of that implementation time. Steps for building an enterprise system. You have to start off with requirements gathering. Figure out what this software system is supposed to do. A good programmer will plan out what they're about to build. They won't just start, building something. That could lead to danger. There will be the time to actually program the software. The system will need to be tested because it's one of. And then there'll be ongoing support and upgrades. One of the things you'll lose out if you build your own is economies of scale. Similar, going back to that purchasing a car, you get a benefit that General Motors builds thousands of cars a day, or builds a lot of cars each day, and they know what they're doing, and they can pass on savings to you. And you'll benefit. If you build your own, you'll kind of lose that economies of scale benefit. In the industry, there are best practices for building these software products, and some of that knowledge is not generally shared. If you were to build your own, you're not going to have the access to some of these best practice details, or you'll need to discover them on your own at your own expense. In general, software development is expensive and risky. I will throw out this scenario that I've heard and been tempted with myself. Say you own a manufacturing company and you're considering to purchase or build an enterprise software system. You run across kind of a younger, ambitious programmer who says, "Hey, I can build you something. No problem. It'll take me 2 weeks, 2 months. A lot better than buying something off the shelf. It will do exactly what you want." In terms of those timelines, programmers are famous for underestimating their timelines. They're just brutal at time estimates. They don't really dig into the details. They misplace your expectations by giving you a short time frame, and then when that time frame comes and goes, they either come back asking for more time or they disappear. If you choose to build a system on your own, one of the key things you need to take into account is if you hire a developer or a software development company, that relationship with that company is not going to be done when they've built the first version. It's going to be a relationship that you need to maintain and grow long into the future, because they're the only ones who really understand how that system works. And the tough thing is that most from the software developer's perspective is most of the money they make is up front in building the first version. Once that system's kind of done, they're going to slowly start losing interest. And I've known a few companies that have been in this situation. I know one specifically. They got a software system built relatively for cheap, and after a few years, the customer came back to the company that had built the initial version basically squeezed the end customer and said, if you want us to continue being your software supplier, you're going to have to give us 5 times the amount of money you initially gave us. And what this was the customer is essentially getting fired. Yeah, it's a tough situation, but these type of things happen, and you should really strongly consider this: who you're starting this project with, and will this work in the long term? There are positives of building your own. You'll get specifically what you need. If you buy from a vendor, sometimes these vendors also can kind of be bad to their own customers. It's quite well known in the printing industry. There's a company called EFI. EFI purchased a few printer MIS systems. They had a number under their umbrella, and they basically suspended development. I think they had like 5, and I think they suspended development on 3 of them and said to all their customers, well, if you want to continue using our products, you'll need to migrate for a great cost over to these other 2 systems. And that puts your end customer in a difficult position. If you do build it yourself, there's a good chance that the product will probably be simpler than many enterprise systems, because you can kind of say, hey, I only need these 30% features. Also, one of the things you could try is integrating software products together. That's the end of this chapter. Thank you for your time. If you have any comments, questions, or interest in MaxScheduler, our scheduling software, please reach out to us through MaxScheduler.com. Have a good day. Thank you.